Okay, good morning. Welcome back to Rhubarb Yoga. Hope you're all well, bearing up and being strong. So today we're going to look at opening our heart, and we're going to look at the heart chakra, or the Anahata chakra. And this is not about chakras today, but this is the area we're looking at. This time of the year, when it's colder, we tend to bundle up, huddle down, wrap up, and curve our bodies in to try and hold on to the heat that we think we need. But actual fact, what we're doing is we're closing up and pulling in everything that we would normally be. We'd normally be open-hearted, lifting our face and our chin when we talk, looking to people in the eye. So we're going to look at opening our heart in Cobra, Bhujangasana. It is a low back bend. Don't panic. There are 3 different levels. So start somewhere and start with your foundation. We're also going to do a little bit of warming up first to activate the lower back, as the back will be part of this pose. A little bit of a warning: if you have any issues with your back, your hips or your shoulders today, please take care. There is no competition. Listen to your body. It will tell you when you are not in the right place. But we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow just to open the back up, and then we're going to go into our cobra. Don't need any props today, just yourself, a good floor, and you can wear anything comfortable. So don't worry about being in yoga leggings and a crop top. It doesn't matter. You could be in your pyjamas for this, which is always a good thing. Okay, so doing our cat-cow, we're going to do seated cat-cow first to activate not just the lower back, but also this will help start opening the front of our chest, our collarbones, our heart chakra, our Anahata chakra, and also start activating our solar plexus too, that front part of the body that we need to open up and show people more, particularly when it's cold. It will help our lung health, it will help our inhalation and exhalation be longer, be healthier, and improve our oxygenation too. All of these things will just give us that extra bounce in our step when we're moving forward. So coming to a comfortable cross-legged or a kneeling position. Make sure you find the position that's good for you to start off with. Place our hands on our knees, in our kneeling or our crossed. And as we breathe in, we're going to come forward, pulling our chest forward, just as we would in a normal cat-cow on all fours, but we're going to pull the chest forward this time, okay? So the back is curving in a low arc towards the heart. And as we breathe out on our exhalation, we are going to curve and arc away from the front of the body. Let the chin drop, just as we would in an all-four cat-cow. Breathing in, we're opening the solar plexus, the heart, the collar, and the throat. Gently lift the head, don't jerk it up, gently. Opening the throat, getting all our adrenal glands and our thyroids activated as well. And then back. And then one more. So coming to a neutral position. You might start feeling a little bit of stretching and opening amongst the ribs there. That's all of the intercostal muscles just being activated and allowing expansion so the lungs can be bigger and the diaphragm can come into work. So we're going to line our belly, and what's not to love about that? So coming over, get to it however you want, and if you feel you're still a bit stiff this morning, we'll do a couple of all-four cat-cows too, just to reinforce the back and get it moving. So making sure our hands are underneath our wrists and our palms are spread like stars, ground the shins, toes to the mat. Breathing in, we're going to roll through the back, dipping the belly towards the floor, opening the heart, the chest, gently lifting the chin. As we breathe out, we're going to curve all the way down, dropping the head last, grounding those shins so we can push away from the mat to increase the arc of the back. Taking that breath in, we come back and forwards once more and slightly pull the hands and knees towards each other. You're going to feel traction, but it's going to help the actual cat-cow experience, and you're going to feel that elongation along the front of the body once again. And then come to neutral. So come into Bhujangasana or Cobra Pose. Come down to the belly, and our legs will be flat and straight behind us. But before we do anything with our arms, we need to look at our legs because they will keep us stable. So what I want you to do is pick one leg up at a time and stretch it out behind you, just like it's being pulled. And the same with the other one. So then we may feel our hip bones are level on the ground. And I want you to press all 10 toenails into the ground too. This will help keep our pelvis stable and activate the lower part of the back, just that little bit to support. Okay, with Cobra, we start lying down. But before we do anything, I want you to lay your head on your hands and just listen to the body and what it's telling you right now. How is your back feeling in this position? How are your shoulders? And how are your hips? All of these will come into play in this pose, and it's necessary to listen and acknowledge what your body is telling you. And if you can't do it today, do it another day. It will not end the world. So with Cobra Pose, our hands are underneath our shoulders. Now you may be familiar with Sphinx Pose, where our elbows are underneath our shoulders and our forearms are flat to the ground with palms spread. It is a softer pose, softer than Cobra, and a nice release pose. And if you want to take this instead, that is absolutely fine. The foundation of the legs are very similar, but you need to ground the pelvis into the mat. And gently pull the elbows a little bit toward the body, keeping the hands flat. Don't let the shoulders sink. That's one thing we don't want because it's destroying what we're trying to do. So with Sphinx, we're opening up, and you will feel that opening along the solar plexus, the heart chakra, maybe up into the chest too. And keeping the pelvis grounded, pull the belly in a little bit. That will protect your back, which is the most important thing. And if this is too much on your elbows, or your hands, or your shoulders, you can use a block. Not a cheat, a prop, an aid. So going back into our Sphinx, we can use the Sphinx closer to the body and place the shoulders on top. This can give us a higher lift to start helping us open the front of our body. It can also support our shoulders and take the pressure off the elbows. But if it's just not something you're comfortable with, don't do it. It's not necessary. So looking back at our Cobra, we've got our 10 toes into the mat. We have got our pelvis and hip bones grounded because our legs have stretched out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place our hands just under the shoulders, not over because we can't give our support. And if we have them too far back, we have a tendency to drop the shoulder blades towards the ground and overbalance. So making sure the hands are underneath the shoulders. And you will get this. Do this in front of a mirror, in front of a large window. You will see that. And it's only practice. Don't be worried. So what we're going to do also with Cobra is we're going to pull our belly in. Imagine that you're trying to hold the need to go to the loo. That's a very simple way of describing pulling our lower belly in. And that is our pelvic floor. We can do it to keep our pelvic floor healthy. We'll look at that in another class. So lying down, keeping our hands underneath our shoulders, we're going to pull the belly in, breathe in or breathe out, whichever you feel comfortable that will help you lift off the ground. We're going to gently come up, and it may not look much, but what we're looking at is the activation of the lower back muscles here. And as we want to know if we can take our hands away, and our body will hold us up. The hands give an extra lift, but that's not what we're relying on, and this is a low Cobra. Coming back down. When we come into other Cobra, what I want you to picture is you're being lifted here by a string, and the back raises up. And this is how our heart opens. So keeping the hands in the same place, we're going to go and do another low Cobra, so take a breath in, engage the belly, Ground the 10 toes, coming up, and keep those hands off the ground just to prove that your back's activated. Coming back down, and we don't drop down, we lower down. Chest first, then head. And as we breathe in, it's the back of the heart, and then the head. So now we're going to look at a slightly higher cobra. If this is enough for you, and keep practicing, then that is plenty. But let's look at our next cobra. So keeping the hands, we're going to bring them in ever so slightly, so the elbows and forearms are tucked along the sides of the ribs, but not sticking to them. So we want that space, but we want that support. So as we breathe in, we're going to imagine we're being pulled up between the shoulder blades by a long string, heart first, then head. Just a slightly higher cobra. And now the hands are activated. We're keeping our elbows tucked in by our ribs. This will give us support, and you're going to feel that back working. That's why our 10 toes should be on the floor and our pelvis too, to keep that lower body support. Breathing out, we lower the heart first, and then the head. And if that's enough, take a break. Put the head to one side, arms out in front, and rest. If you're not familiar with this, you may feel it quicker than you know. And do a little at a time. 1 cobra a day, that's more than enough. Who needs to overwhelm themselves with cobra? So let's try it again. So bringing our hands back under our shoulders, a little bit further back, elbows tucked, arms around the ribs but not sticking to them. We're going to breathe in, we're going to pull up between the shoulders, head forward, arms tucked, rounding the 10 toes, and lift those kneecaps. That will engage the legs and give you a further support, but not the glute. The glute will pinch the lower back and the nerve, and it will also give you any issues you already may have with your back. And back down. Now we're going to go for another high cobra. We're going to go for the next stage up. So hands in again. We're going to take our breath in and see if we can go a little bit higher. Please listen to your limits. Do not push yourself. Breathing in, up and away. And you will definitely feel your back engaging now. This is where the pelvis needs to be grounded, the knees activated and the toenails into the floor. Take a breath. You're going to feel the solar plexus and the heart opening. That's why it's important to lift with the back of the heart, not the head. And we're going to lower down. So we're going to do that one more time. So lifting up between the shoulders, lifting the back of the heart, taking a breath in or out, whichever's working for you, and keeping those elbows in. And we're going to activate and open that heart. Now if you're feeling comfortable and you're confident, we could do a wide arm cobra. So let's show you that choice. Taking the hands out to a slight, just to the edge of your mat, just to begin with, to experiment and see how comfortable you are, and the strength of your shoulders are activated. So breathing in, lift between the heart. And you might feel that this is better for you, it's wider, you feel more secure, you're balanced. You can open up the front of the body too, and it's a lovely feeling, the sensation of that space and opening the back in a low curve, but creating space along the front and the heart is so beautiful. It's such a space that you forget that you have. Okay, so seeing how you get on with that one, I'm going to show you one more choice, which is the wide arm cobra, and you can undulate with this. You can wave and move your body about. So let me show you this last one. So we're going to take our arms off the mat. Fingers are spread like spiders on a mirror, okay? But we want our arms and elbows in line, so we're not overreaching and we're not pushing the cradle of the shoulders and the head forward. So we need them in line until you're comfortable and confident in this pose. So let's push our 10 toes into the mat, lift our knees, ground the pelvis, breathe in and lift that pelvic belly. And that is our wide arm cobra. But you can undulate, and you can sweep the shoulders down, and you can open up further, and you can wave the body up and down, and you might really love this action. But please be careful with the shoulders. And ultimately it could just be your fingertips get really, really tired. So lowering down. Resting the arms, resting the shoulders, release the back. Weirdly enough, coming into a sphinx will just help release the back again for you. And it'll take some pressure off the shoulders so you can move back into sphinx afterwards, if you wish. But if after all that, you move on with your day, then so be it. I hope you found some pleasure in doing Cobra. It's a fantastic front body opener, and it might make you feel energised, enlivened, oxygen rich, perhaps. Enjoy it, try it, move on. Have a fantastic day. Be well, be safe.